So now it's time to start with the CSS part of the project. But before that, I need to do a one change inside the division class name. Means inside the model overlay, here I made a typo. It is actually a model. I have actually typed here a modal. Alright, it is actually a model overlay. If I control save it, nothing is going to happen because it is a hidden element. Now it's time to use the style.css file. So here first I'm going to select the HTML element and I'm going to select the height to actually 100%. 100%. If I control save it, nothing is going to happen. But if you used a image inside the body, here I need to use the body selector also. Here I am going to simply type the font family, that is this one, which is going to be like sans serif. And then if I adding here a padding, which is going to 0, then margin is going to be 0, and then I need to use the background. So here background, and I will be here using the URL function. And then what I have copied, if I control save, control paste it, because I have already copied the image URL inside the clipboard, that is this image URL. And now if I control save it, you will see the image. And I have to do it what I need to first simply set the background size, because we need to actually add some more properties. So background size, that is this one, it's going to be contain, actually not contain, it's going to be cover. So you can see now we get this single image, and after that I need to here use the background repeat, that is this one, background repeat to no repeat. Alright, and then I will be here using the display, that is this one, display to flex, and then I need to here specify the align items, that is this one, to center, and then I need to use the justify content to center. If I control save it, now the content is actually shifted to the center. And here I need to do what? I need to simply specify inside the body a height which is going to be 100%. If I do that, then you can see the content is actually shifted to the center of the screen. So this is a new way of actually centering the content inside the center of the browser screen by specifying the height 100% inside the HTML element and also the 100% height inside the body element. Alright, now it's time to add the code for this particular button for adding the hover effect. So here I'm going to target the button. So it is like hover, and then I need to use here a hover effect inside the button. Also I need to add the code for the normal button before applying the hover effect. So button and button. So here I'm just simply going to change the background color of the button to a color, or I can just simply use here a color name which is called deep pink. And I'm going to remove the extra spaces so that our code looks neat and clean. And inside of that I will be using the margin, which is going to be like 2 rem, and then I need to use here a display which is going to be like inline block. Alright, so now there is a spaces is applied between the button and the overlay. Okay, and then it's time to add the background color, which is going to be like hot pink for the button. Now the color of the button is changed, and then I need to use the color which is going to be white, and then I need to use the padding. So padding is going to like 1 rem, and from left and right it's going to 2 rem, and then I need to use the border which is going to be none, and here I need to use the border radius which is going to be 5 pixel, and here I will be using the box shadow, it is going to 0, 4 pixel, and then 8 pixel, and then here I need to use the RGBA, that is this one, which is for the red is going to 0, blue is for 0, and alpha is going to like 0.2. Control save it. Now you can see the box shadow is applied to the button and also the border radius. It's time to add the cursor to pointer, and then I need to add the transition, that is this one, which is going to be the background color, background hyphen color, and then I need to specify the time, which is going to be 0.3s, and then the ease one. Control save it. Now if I hover over it, now you can see the color is changes to hot pink, and then there is a deep pink, hot pink color, that is this one, and then when I hover over it, the color is changes to deep pink. Alright, so that marks the code for the button. Now it's time to add the code for the modal. So here I need to use the dot because it is a class selector, so modal. Then we need to start its block of the code. Inside the index.html, I'm going to cross check the name. So yeah, it is actually modal, which is a division tag. in which our rest of the other two divisions is present. Inside the model, the first thing is I need to set the position to actually absolute. Alright, so you can see now they are actually overlapping each other, which is the button and also the text which is present inside the model divisions. And after that, I need to set the display to actually none. If I control save it, now you can see the display is none applied. But I'm going to just simply comment out this particular line of the code because I want to write some more CSS and also I want to see the impact of the CSS code. So here I will be using the justify content to actually center, and then I need to use the align items to actually center. If I do that, then you can see the things is actually arranged a little bit. Or I can use here a display which is going to be flex. Okay, now you can see the things is actually applied. After that, I want to, or I can just simply remove the display flex from here. Actually, I want to use it in a different way. So I just remove the display flex from here. Okay, and here I'm going to do what? I will be using it when we model.open. So what I mean with this, we will be using this particular CSS dynamically by using the JavaScript. So here what I'm going to do, display, and I will be setting it to flex. Alright, so when we click on the model, we will be using this kind of CSS, means this CSS will be used inside the JavaScript dynamically. Okay, now at this point of time, we are going to apply the code for this particular model overlay so that we get this gray out effect that is outside of this particular model content. Coming back to the our version of the application, and here coming back to the style.css instead of index.html. So here I need to specify a dot, then pasting the name of the selector, which is a class selector, then opening its block of the code. Inside of the model overlay, the first thing is I need to use the position to fixed, and then I need to here use the top, which is going to 0, then left, which is going to 0, and then I need to also define the right, which is going to 0, and then I need to also add the here a bottom, which is going to 0. Control save it, and then I need to add the background color, which is going to be RGBA. That is this one, and here the alpha is going to 0.5. If I do that, then you can see we get this background color, or I can say that the gray out color. Then here I need to add the animation, which is actually a fade in animation, then 0.3s, and this is going to be ease. Now we need to create the keyframes for this fade in animation. So here @keyframes, that is this one. Then I need to provide the identifier name, which is fade in. Then I need to here provide the from, and then I need to here provide the to, that is this one, and then we need to start its block of the code. Now here inside of this frame, I need to first set the opacity to 0, and then here I need to set the opacity to 1. Control save it, then you can see there's a fade in animation is applied. If I control save it, the overlay is actually coming in a very smooth way with the fade in animation with the duration of 0.3s. After that, we need to add the code for the model content. So here coming back to this index.html, I'm going to copy the name of this particular class, which is the model underscore content. Coming back to the style.css, so here I'm going to specify the dot because it is a class selector. So I'm going to pasting the name of the selector and then opening the curly brackets, which is actually opening the block of the selector. And inside of that, the first thing is I need to set the background color to actually white. Alright, and then I'm going to specify the padding, which is going to be 2 rem. And after that, I will be adding here border radius property, which is going to be 8 pixel. Control save it. You can see the things of the model content. So here it is actually content P, which is not required. That is the reason we can't see the model code. So now we are able to see the model content. Alright, because of that particular capital P character, it's not going to apply the code because it is assumed that there is a different selector is selected. After that, I need to add here a border. So I need a border of 2 pixel solid border, and then I will be using here a color which is going to be hot pink. And then I need to add a box shadow. So box shadow 0, then 4 pixel, then 8 pixel, and then the function which is going to be RGBA, which is this particular one. And then I need to add the cursor to pointer so that it will looks like a clickable thing. Then position is going to be relative, And then you can see once I did the position relative, it's going to be overcome at the top of the model overlay. Alright, then I need to add the z index property, which is going to be 1. If I do that, then it's going to be staying at the top of the overlay and the button. And then I need to add the animation. So animation is going to be like slide in animation, which is going to be 0.3s, and then we need to specify here is. And then here I need to add the overflow, which is going to be hidden. And then I need to add a transform, which is going to be origin from center. Now I need to create the keyframes for this slide animation, which is the slide in. So add the rate keyframes identifier name, which is going to be slide in. And then here instead of that, I need to specify the from and to, just like I have specified inside the paid in one. So here I need to simply type here a from. I need to start the from block, and then I need to here specify the to block also, not text one, it is like to block. Instead of the frame means instead of the from, I need to here use the transform, that is this one, transform translate y, and then I need to specify here minus 20 pixel. And inside of the 2, I need to here specify the transform, and I need to use here a translate y, which is going to be 0. Then you can see there is a slide in animation is applied to this particular modal. And now when I hover over it, you can see there is a cursor is changes to pointer 1. Alright, you can add some more modifications if you want. Right now I just want to demonstrate the usage, how we can actually specify the content, and when we click on this particular model, it's going to close it. Alright, so after the key slide in, means after the keyframes of the slide in, it's time to add the code for this particular h1 element. So it is actually under the model content. So model content, then we are going to target the h1 element, and then going to start its block of the code. So the first thing is I need to change the color to little darker version of the gray. So it is like 3 times 0. So it is like 3 times 3. And then I need to change the font size, which is going to be like 2 rem. Control save it. And then I'm also going to change the margin bottom, which is going to be like 1 rem. Right. So this is for the model content for the h1 element, and similarly I need to do that for the model content paragraph element. So model content, then I need to select the paragraph element. Then here first thing I'm going to change the color to dark blue. So you can see that the color is changed. And then I'm going to add the line height, which is going to be 1.5 height. Alright, so that marks the completion of the code for the CSS part for this particular Modal application. So in the next part, we're going to start with the JavaScript part for the project. So when we click on this model, it's going to close this particular model, and when we click on the button, it's going to open the model. So all of this stuff we're going to do in the next lecture.